Egypt is currently undergoing a period of massive transformation. Ever since President Abdel Fattah el-Sisi took over the country in 2014, he has been determined to rebuild its infrastructure and salvage its economy. The result is several ambitious construction projects, such as the $8.5 billion expansion of the Suez Canal, several new 8 and 12-lane highways, bridges stretching over the Nile, and a complete makeover of the current capital, Cairo. Now, you might be wondering why I just said current capital. Well, it's because I haven't gotten to el-Sisi's most significant project yet. A brand new $58 billion administrative capital rising from the desert, a capital that spans an area 4 times bigger than Washington, D.C. For now, since it still doesn't have a proper name, this mammoth project is simply called the NAC, or the New Administrative Capital. Let's take a closer look at the city. The plans for the NAC were announced in 2015, only a year after el-Sisi became president. A convenient location was chosen 28 miles east of Cairo and approximately 40 miles from the Suez Canal. Construction began the following year. Almost a decade later, in 2024, the city is far from being complete. This should give you a general idea of just how ambitious the project is. Part of the plans for the NAC include a new presidential palace, a parliament building, as well as multiple government administrative buildings and embassies. In addition, there will be separate districts for businesses, residences, and culture, with plans of grand performance halls, art galleries, artificial lakes, and a massive 6-mile-long green area weaving through the capital, accurately dubbed the Green River. When complete, the NAC is expected to host a population of 6.5 million across 21 residential districts. Tens of thousands of these apartment buildings have already been built, and about 1,200 families live there as of 2024. The city is also expected to be home to over 2,000 educational institutions, a theme park twice the size of Disneyland, and a new stadium seating 93,440 people, which will be the second largest stadium on the continent, after the FNB Stadium in South Africa. What really makes the NAC stand out as a revolutionary megaproject is the massive skyscrapers that are expected to rise above the capital's downtown area. The most impressive of these projects is the iconic tower. Standing at almost 1,300 feet, this under-construction building is already the tallest tower in Africa. The iconic tower's look inspired by the 3,000-year-old obelisk of Luxor from ancient Egypt. It has 77 floors, including offices and high-end apartments, plus an observation deck that offers majestic views of the new capital. Other exciting under-construction skyscrapers include the Capitol Diamond Tower, a twisted building that will reach up to 787 feet when finished, and the Nile Business City Complex, which will stand at 764 feet tall. And let's not forget about the Obelisco Capital, a skyscraper that, if built as planned, will make all other skyscrapers pale in comparison. This megastructure, which is also inspired by the ancient Egyptian obelisks, is expected to be an incredible 3,281 feet tall, making it the world's new tallest building by a significant margin. Construction on the Obelisco Capital is set to begin in 2030. Meanwhile, the Octagon, which is the name given to the new headquarters of Egypt's Ministry of Defense, is expected to be the largest defense headquarters in the world, spread across a staggering 34 square miles. Looking at all of these projects, Egypt seems to be going through a period of transformation not unlike what we've seen in Dubai and Saudi Arabia. But why does the country need a new capital in the first place? Egypt's current capital, Cairo, is special in many ways. It's one of the largest cities in Africa and one of great historical importance. It stood in the same place for over 1,000 years, and of course is home to the stunning pyramids of Giza. But as the population of the greater Cairo area surpasses 20 million, the city is also dealing with major issues, including those related to space and pollution. The new administrative capital was announced as a way to relieve some of the pressure on Cairo and help make Egypt a more sustainable nation. Since the NAC will be built from the ground up, it provides the perfect opportunity to create new infrastructure with green technology as a priority. Egypt's administrative capital for urban development has promised, for instance, that the NAC will be a completely sustainable city, using solar panels to generate energy and employing smart waste and water management systems. It is also committed to building a new water treatment plant that will treat and provide 1.5 million cubic meters of potable water daily. In addition, the government has promised that the NAC will feature advanced surveillance technology to keep its residents safe. Around 6,000 cameras will be placed to monitor the streets, detect theft, track suspicious individuals, and monitor traffic. Unsurprisingly, there is still a lot left to be built before the NAC is considered finished, but there have definitely been several developments over the years. In fact, last July, several government employees were relocated to finish offices in the new city after the first of 4 construction phases was declared complete. In January 2024, the ACUD said that about 48,000 workers commuted to the new capital every day after an electric train connecting the NAC to Cairo was opened last spring. Major banks and other businesses are expected to move to the city later in 2024. And over the next 3 years, a total of 1.5 million people are expected to move there. But with an estimated price tag of $58 billion, President El-Sisi and his new mega-city have received their fair share of criticism. Egypt is struggling with massive debt and faces issues covering the health and education requirements of its growing population. This makes the elaborate spending on new megastructures quite controversial, especially considering most of the funding for the NAC comes from loans from abroad. In response, President El-Sisi has assured residents of Egypt that the new city will provide millions of new jobs and much-needed housing. He also insists that the new construction projects are not to blame for the country's economic turmoil. It is, however, uncertain who exactly will benefit from the developments in the new administrative capital, as a 2-bedroom apartment in the city is priced at a staggering $50,000. For context, Egypt's average GDP per capita is $3,000. Only time will tell whether the new administrative capital will become a revolutionary frontrunner in the development of sustainable smart megacities or be considered a massive waste of resources. Either way, there is no doubt that the world will be paying attention to the industrial developments in Egypt in the next few years.